Hello, my finest of friends. Welcome to another Retro RHLSTP. This week I'm talking in about 2023 to Rhys James, who I have interviewed subsequently. If you want to listen to the other interview, that is available on the feed. This is something we're doing. We put out every week. We put out an old RHLSTP for people who missed it the first time or people who want to listen again. It's a good way to introduce new people to the podcast. We always need new people, so give them a listen, but you can watch the whole video for free. What a lovely thing that is. And if you want to come and see us live, not sure how much longer we're going to do RHLSTP. I always say this, but we'll see. So if you want to see it live, we're in Edinburgh from the 5th to the 16th of August, and then we're doing 3 gigs in London in the autumn. Go to richardherring.com/RHLSTP. May they be the last ones ever? Who knows? So don't miss the chance to see them live. Buy your tickets now. But otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy the wonderful Rhys James, not the footballer, the other one, on a Retro RHLSTP.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Leicester Square Theatre. Please welcome a man who's officially the best dad in the world. It's Richard Herring. Thank you very much. Hello, my finest friends. Hello. Oh, you're lovely. Welcome to Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre podcast. I was hanging around with Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox from off of Chips, Chicago Highway Police. Remember that show, mate? Oh, you do? You look too... No. You look too young. They did a movie version of it recently. Did you see the movie version, Chips? They love motorcycling around. They call it RHLSTP anyway, so I don't know if that's going to catch on. We'll see. Look, it's great to be here. This has been a tricky series. We're at the end of the series. I've been ill for most of this series. I've got a feeling we got one more next week. I don't think I'm going to be any better by next week. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. I'm on a Lemsip. I'm basically better, but it's been hell for me. It's been hell. You wouldn't know from the performances have been excellent. Uniformly excellent. I don't like to talk about it. So look, the other day I was driving my kids to school, and Zoe Ball, who gets proper guests, was interviewing some of the stars of the new Mario movie, Chris Pratt, I think, and the bloke off It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I think he was in it. They did a funny thing where they were playing Taylor Swift's song, It's Me, and then they kept on cutting in, It's a me, a Mario. And then I got out the car and I was walking the kids into school, and I went, It's a me, a Mario. And my son looked at me in awe. And he said, how did you do that voice? He couldn't believe that I had perfected, that had someone else's voice was coming in. We thought it was exactly the same. And, obviously, he was looking at me like I was Mike Yarwood. That's how impressed he was. And obviously, he didn't know that everyone can do that. And it was just a moment. And he then looked at me and said, you are the best dad in the world. Which, is nice, but also it's not true, is it? Because every dad can do it. It's a me, you're Mario. We're going to do a slightly racist impression of a cartoon. And I know that eventually you'll realise that and that will fall away. But it was a nice... I don't think I'm even in the top 5 dads in the world, to be honest. I'm not, probably not in the top million. But I'm not that good at dad. I thought I'd be a really good dad. I thought, I'm funny. I'm going to mess around because it's going to be great fun. Once I have kids, I'm not a good laugh with my kids. I'm grumpy with them. I don't play with them. I'm too tired because I'm old. But I still reckon I'm probably in the top 10% of dads in the world. So that says more about dads than it does about me. It's me, Mario. Absolute awe. He couldn't believe it was possible. I'm good at accents. Wait till he hears the rest of them. So it's good. This morning, it's all going to be kids because that's all that's been happening. This morning, my daughter was watching a history program, and there was a sort of depiction of Einstein on it. And he was doing E equals MC squared and stuff. And she said, isn't he a monster? I said, no, he's a famous physicist. Because the monster Frank Einstein, his name. It was lovely, and I thought, that is a fucking good idea for a children. Frank Einstein, that someone digs up Einstein, but puts him together again. Sort of zombie Einstein. Looked it up, someone's already done a Frank Einstein. So they didn't even have a zombie. It's not even a zombie Einstein. Ruined. Thought the kids are going to pay. It's finally going to pay off. Finally going to. That's all you need. Just one good idea. Frank Einstein. Wouldn't that be good? Fucked it. Anyway, let's crack on. My guest this week is probably best known for his appearance on Love Island After Sun. Also, of course, one of the many people who's famous for being on When News Goes Horribly Wrong. Will you please welcome Rhys James, ladies and gentlemen? Here he is.
Thank you.
How was Love Island After Sun?
I hated it. I hated it so much. It was one of those moments where I was like, I got asked to do it.
Yeah.
And I thought this will be a good opportunity to prove that I can be funny on anything. Let me tell you, I did not prove that one bit. What I proved is I can be funny on some things when they're not about a show I hadn't watched.
Ah, yes, that's the problem. I've never seen an episode of Love Island. I've seen like about 30 seconds of it and turned over.
You don't want to support the work of Ian Sterling?
I don't. I think he's doing all right without me.
Yeah.
I support him.
No, you should speak to him. All that money, and he just goes, herring! I need the blessing of herring! I mean, I'm not joking. He's a weird guy.
Well, look, it's lovely today. I've been very impressed with the stuff I've seen. It's been lovely to catch up with all the stuff you're doing today. There's some things I want to know about you that there isn't much on the internet about you, so I'm going to hopefully... And there's some contradictory stuff on the internet about you. First, I meant to say Rhys James if that is your real name, which it is not.
It's not.
Why have you changed your name? That's suspicious.
Well, cancel culture's real.
Yeah.
When I started out, there was already quite a prolific comedian who had my real name.
Okay.
And I just thought there's probably not room for two Ramesh Ranganathans. So I switched it up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Good.
My name is... It's not a fun story.
I know, but it's such a weird change.
It's not a fun story. Why? Because it's such a tiny change.
Because your name is sort of the same.
Of course, Richard, you knew me as Rhys Jones. You might not remember that you knew this. My real name is Rhys Jones, and I changed it because there was, I don't know, there's an acting database, and if you want to get on it, you can't have the same name as someone else. But you gave me my first ever quote.
Did I?
When I started out, you saw me in a competition in Edinburgh. So you think you're funny competition.
Right.
In 2009 or something. Yeah. And when I was just Rhys Jones.
Right.
I was just starting out.
Yeah.
And you gave me my first quote. I'm going to tell you the quote.
Okay.
And I'm going to put a blank in there, and you can guess what the word was that was blank. Okay?
Okay.
The quote was, Rhys had the best one-liners of the night.
Yeah.
Big things await. Annoyingly talented blank.
Cunt?
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
Good.
I knew you'd get it instantly.
All I remembered was I called you a cunt.
Yeah,
That's all.
I omitted that word when I was searching for gigs using that quote.
I don't really. I was wondering if I'd seen you, but I think often because I used to host the New Act of the Year award here a bit after that, though.
Right.
For a few years, because we were doing this, and so the S Square Theatre, when I lived in them, say, come down and host it. But there'd always be beer and pizza, and I'd just get drunk.
Yeah.
And
sure.
just have to introduce loads of new people that you don't really remember. And then so many of those people are now quite established comedians.
Right.
Go, we met at the...
I didn't actually expect you to remember watching me do an awful set where I didn't get through in a So You Think You're Funny semi-final.
I was obviously
15 years
impressed. Was I a judge on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't put me through.
No.
But thanks for the quote.
I don't even really remember being a judge on that. So I was probably just. I think sometimes they would just say, "There's free drink, come down here." They knew that I would be drawn to.
You said to me, you said on the night, you were pissed, but you said you'll go far if you just change your name slightly.
Right, the internet it has conflicting information about where you are from, and I had some. Wikipedia says you're from Swindon.
Sure. Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And another part of the internet says you're from Shoreditch.
Yeah, but who the fuck is from Shoreditch? How is that possible? It said for a while on Wikipedia that I was born in Shoreditch. I was like, this isn't possible. I was born in Swindon.
Okay.
Is correct.
Okay. And then did you go to school in Harpenden?
Yes.
Okay. So that
You
just
you lived in Harpenden for a while?
Well, I did live in Harpenden for about 6 months.
Hated it?
Really hated it.
Yeah.
It is. And I tell you, if you're doing gigs in Hertfordshire, you probably know this. People fucking hate everyone in Harpenden. And it's absolutely solid gold
If you
observational material. If you say everyone from Harpenden is a cunt,
right,
which, checks out.
Yeah. You went first, and then it turns out I'm from Harpenden. You got lucky.
When I lived in Harpenden, it looks like a nice place, right? I don't know if you know Harpenden. And I gigged there. And
well, don't do that.
We were looking for, this is before we moved there for a little while. And there was a village green. There was a big parade going on that day as it happened. I thought, this looks, it's like a town, but it's like a village atmosphere. And I said to my wife, we were thinking of moving out to Hertfordshire, and so maybe we should go. So we were having a house dump in London, so we went and lived in Harpenden for 6 months. It was, the people there are the most self-obsessed, horrible pricks.
Yeah.
Like, you're walking down the aisle in the supermarket and people do not get out of the way.
Yeah.
So,
well, my parents still live there, but yeah.
Absolutely.
But, fair enough.
Everyone who lives there. Good.
I do agree. It is full of that. It's full of that. It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Lots of my friends still live there as well, actually. But I would agree with you. And I'll just assume they don't listen to this.
Okay, good. Good. Well, that's sorted out then. I was going to ask you what the tallest building in Swindon was, which is what I often ask people about the place they were born. But if you didn't live there, it's quite.
I lived there for the first 3 years of my life,
well,
so every building looked tall to me.
You should have seen it.
I don't fucking know. The Morrisons?
I don't think.
No,
the
supermarkets, famously bungalows, aren't they? They're one story.
Don't think. Anybody know the tallest building in Swindon? Wow. Might come up and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire one day. I'll give you a clue. It's 272 feet high. No? It's the David Murray John Tower. Sometimes
what?
The David...
The David Murray John Tower.
Yeah.
Is that 3 different men?
Yeah, I think it's just...
David Murray and John. Let's all club together. You have the bottom third. I'll take the middle.
I think he was one bloke, but it's often called the Brunel Tower. There you go.
What happens there? Have your research ended at the name?
I don't go that. I got the height and what it's called. That's all. That's the question. I find out how much you know about Swindon. It turns out enough. Nothing very much about Swindon. That's good. And when you Google some frequently asked questions come up, most of which I could find an answer to.
Okay.
I'm not. Just one of the questions I couldn't find any other reference to, but is one of the frequently asked questions.
Right.
So maybe there is some truth in it. I'm not taking the piss. Just couldn't find anything else about it. Is Rhys James deaf?
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. I think this is because on Mock of the Week, R.I.P., during the COVID shows, we had to wear earpieces because we couldn't hear each other through the Perspex screens, and we're to hear the Zoom audience, I think. And I was the only one who wouldn't play ball and wear it in the ear that was facing away from the camera.
Right.
Because for some reason, I don't know, it just was unnatural to me to be in the right ear, so I put it in the left. And they kept saying to me, can you wear it in your right ear or everyone will think you are deaf? And I kept saying, I don't care about that. And then now that's a frequently asked question. But is there not, when you then click it on Google, there's no answer?
There's no answer. It goes to the Wikipedia page, which it does not discuss.
Which doesn't answer whether or not I'm
discuss
deaf.
it at all. I just thought it was a...
I thought
people just looked, you thought, that guy looks like he's deaf.
Yeah, I will say, I don't know it's because of the reason I just said. I'm assuming that.
Okay.
Maybe I'm being generous. I don't know. But the answer is no. I am not deaf.
But like me, you have one of something that you should have 2 of.
Yes, but unlike you... Yeah, I've only got 1 kidney.
Wow. How's that? Have you been able to do it? Have you been able to do write a show about having 1 kidney?
No, I've only ever had like 1 bit of material about it, and it wasn't even very good. It was just a true story. But basically, had a kidney removed when I was about 10 because it died. It stopped working. My parents, I was at a friend's house on a sleepover, and I was just sort of staying, and it was just in my sleeping bag in agony because my kidney was failing live inside my body and causing me some discomfort. My parents were at a James Taylor concert, And then we had to phone them and say, come home, because your son's fucked here. And his side is in a lot of pain and he's pissing blood.
Wow, okay.
And then they were like, it's fire and rain. Well, he's singing it now. I've seen fire and rain. And I was like, I've seen blood coming out my dick. Come home and take me to hospital, for fuck's sake. And then the only really significant thing, it doesn't change anything. It genuinely doesn't change anything. I'm not allowed to do karate.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Karate's loss, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It was really easy to not do rugby at school.
Okay.
Which years later I found out was my mum protecting me. So I was told, and the school were told, the doctors said you can't do rugby at school, but she obviously just thought, this guy's a dweeb. Let's not put him through that. So she just told the school that, and then I found out the doctors were like, of course you do rugby.
Yeah.
There's like professional players with one kidney, it's fine. But I just got to go on the computer for a bit instead.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's why I'm this pale. But and then I think nothing else really. The only amusing in Harpenden actually.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, I don't know why it was known that I had one kidney, like it was my legacy. But I think it was the Hearts Advertiser, a local Hertfordshire newspaper, which you'll know very well.
I do, I love it.
Contacted me and said, some people have one kidney, some people are born with one kidney, some get it removed, and you can function obviously with one kidney. And some people have 4 kidneys. Yeah, you can be, woe indeed. What the fuck? How disrespectful is that to my kind?
Yeah.
Some people are just born with 4 kidneys and don't even know about it. And basically, what happened is something like someone with 4 kidneys moved to Hertfordshire, and the Hearts Advertiser got in touch to say, we want to do an interview with you two together and talk about how different. I was like, how fucking offensive is that, by the way? As if you're going to say to someone, as if you're going to say to Adam Hills, do you want to meet this octopus? I think I regret turning it down so much.
Were they going to make you wee into jars to see who could
so
fill them up?
Yeah.
You
Who can piss the furthest,
faster.
yeah. I don't know what the plan was, and I said no, because I was just like, this is ridiculous. But, I mean, obviously now you'd say yes, 100%, because you get a bit of material out of it. But
4 kidneys.
also, I want to meet the freak.
Yeah, I mean, someone with 4 kidneys. I think I'd rather have 1 kidney than 4 kidneys.
Exactly. How would you feel about having 4 testicles?
Yeah, not good. Some people do have 4 testicles, so I've got the same thing. Would you rather have 1 kidney or 1 testicle?
Oh, 1 kidney. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Well, what's it like? Has it changed anything for you?
No. I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing, I guess.
Can't do karate?
You
You get to go on the computer a bit instead of playing rugby?
Don't play rugby. It's the same thing that only, the safety one has gone, isn't it, for both of us?
Right, okay,
so,
so
I
you're
suppose
fucked.
losing both testicles when you're 55 is probably
It won't
better
kill
than
you.
losing both
Whereas
kidneys.
if this kidney, I'm dead.
Yeah. But they'll put
Yeah.
you on a machine. They'll put you on a dialysis machine. They won't just let you die.
Well, depends where it happens. You'd hope for a transplant. Anyone here? Nah, not this crowd. Don't want one for one of these guys.
Did your parents not offer to give you one of theirs?
Well, no. I mean, my brother, really. I mean, a parent giving you a kid is a bit...
You can't take it from your brother. You can't have one kid.
He has one, so he has to have one so that I can have 2. He's the older one. Share. You have to learn to share.
You could cut one in half. Can you do that with kidneys? Can they cut them in half?
I think you can, yeah.
Grow
It's
another
like
one?
worms. Yeah. The full kidney just grows immediately.
It's interesting. Interesting. We got, no, it hasn't changed my life at all, except having one ball is funnier than having one kidney.
It is definitely funnier. No one really cares, and the whole one kidney, people are just like, it's like your struggle being you once had appendicitis. Everyone's like, yeah, you don't even need it.
It's true.
Loads of people probably in this room will have only one functioning kidney right now and not even know about it.
Right.
So sorry for the wake-up call, guys, but that's apparently true.
One of you might have 4 functioning kidneys,
Oh,
so
yeah.
think about that.
And if you'd like to do an interview together, then be my guest.
So a lot of people don't know that only one of their kidneys is working.
Apparently. Well, maybe that was just to reassure me as a child. But, yeah. Everyone's like this. Don't worry. You won't stand out. I got to have a water bottle on my desk at school.
Right.
And I was allowed to get up and go to the toilet whenever I wanted, which sound like human rights, don't they? And yet it was something that everyone else was jealous of because you weren't allowed. In year 5 at school, if you were like, can I go to the toilet? They were like, no.
Why?
Yeah, how fucking mad is that?
Does having one kidney mean you have to go to the toilet more often than someone with 2? Sure, you go less often.
No,
Because there's
but I was
only one.
yeah. I was benefiting from a lack of understanding.
Okay, that's good. Good to you started very. So when I saw you at this competition, were you 17 years old? Is that when
I
you
think
started?
I would have been 18,
18,
17,
wow.
18, something like that.
Yeah. That's what drove you. It is quite unusual to start quite that young, or at least get into the real world like people do it at university, maybe in.
Yeah, it was just before I went to university.
Yeah, so
basically,
17s.
I really wanted to be a comedian. I was a big comedy fan, and every comedian that you could watch on TV, which is when you're 17, basically the only place, when I was 17 anyway, that you could watch comedy. YouTube was sort of starting to be a popular thing, but it wasn't massive.
Yeah.
So I sort of would only watch it on TV, and I'd watch even things like The World Stands Up on Paramount and be like really into that sort of stuff. But everyone was 40. Everyone who was a comedian
Yes.
was 40, or at least looked 40 to a 17-year-old. And then, this is going to make you so angry, basically, Jack Whitehall got famous, and I looked him up, and I was like, he is 19, and he's sort of doing all the things that... So he was I was like, oh, you can do it.
Yeah.
And I also just assumed as well, I was like, well, Jack Whitehall, and he did... his CV, which was on his... The only thing you find out about him was on his agent's website. And so his CV was... It was all just these, like, competitions that you do, like new act competitions. But he was on TV with his own TV show, but his CV was still Amuse Moose finalists and stuff like that, things that are just like... To have a TV show now, you would be like Guardian reviews and all that sort of stuff, like much bigger credits. And then I just thought, great, well, I'll just do all the things that he's done, and then I'll have a TV show in a year. And then you get on the... Because I was like, and my USP will be like, I'll be the young comedian. And then you get on the circuit, and everyone's fucking 17. It was an absolute disaster. There were so many.
Yeah, I guess there were quite a lot. Jack did stand out. When I came back to stand up, he was sort of just coming through. That sort of 2004, I guess it would have been, yeah. And so, but I saw him and I thought, yeah, I remember doing a gig with him and said, yeah, you're going to be on TV and doing movies. And going out with Gemma Chan in 3 years' time.
Yeah. Exactly. You'll be friends with The Rock in no time, my boy. He'll be an actor, by the way. Should clarify that. He's not just a wrestler.
So, yeah, but it's still, so you've been going for you've been going for a good
Fucking
long time.
ages, yeah. I'm 32.
So your show now is about not being young anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it
As
is,
a 32-year-old, which you really are. You really are young, but it
is about that, yeah. Because now I'm experiencing what it's like, because there's all these fucking Gen Z comedians.
Yeah.
And they're all massively famous on TikTok. Yes. And I resent it. And I can't handle it. And I don't know how to fucking deal with it. And then whenever I genuinely feel like 100 years old whenever I'm like, oh, well, I'll do a TikTok. Then I do one that's like, it would just be a clip of like a joke I said on Mock the Week or something. And it's like, no, they don't like that because it's too shiny. It's too like well produced. It has to look shit in order to be successful. I mean, you know this. Are you filming this? Are you filming this?
We are filming it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Do you film the audience?
We're not going to TikTok it. We try not to film the audience just because we're trying to cultivate an idea that cool people might like this.
Yeah. In which case, it's great to be here at a sold-out Leicester Square Theatre.
So yeah, it does. But it does pass quickly. That time where I suppose we were only early 20s when we came to London and started doing stand-up. And Stuart Lee always used to go on about being very proud about being the youngest person on the circuit who was doing well. I was kind of going, that's not a good thing to...
that's such a short shelf life of a brag. The youngest, really?
Yeah.
Is that what he used to...
Well, because he did well pretty quickly. So he was like 21 and headlining. And he probably was, I think he was sort of the youngest person to be doing that. Just about.
Yeah.
It was much more... it was in the 90s was a very sort of male-dominated time, very sort of laddie stand-ups, really. And there was a lot of people who were sort of in their 30s who seemed absolutely ancient to us.
Right.
But it was rare to see anyone like over 40, I think. I bet Bob Boynton might have seemed old, I remember, but he was probably only 38 or something.
I don't know the name that you just said.
But he's still going. But, it was quite unusual to... Arthur Smith or someone, I suppose, was...
Right,
older.
yeah.
Arnold Brown was properly, like, in his 50s, I think, probably.
I think Stuart Lee should still, and he shouldn't have stopped, and he should still be saying he's the youngest comedian who's doing well. That would be a great Stuart Lee bit. If he just keeps saying, I am the youngest comedian to be successful, this would be good stuff. Is he looking for writers? Does he outsource it at all? Would I be up his street, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think give that a go. I mean, he would double down on it. The truth is no obstacle to.
Exactly. That'd be a funny sentence to hear 5,000 times, wouldn't it?
I'm going to. This is. AI has written me some emergency questions.
Right.
Because I got bored of writing them myself. This has been gold the 3 times I've used it. So let's see if this one works. This is a good question. This is generally, some of them aren't good. What is the most ludicrous thing you've ever done in the name of love?
Okay. Right. Okay. I had a kidney removed so that I could give it as a Valentine's gift. Yeah. No, basically, when I was a teenager, I was the most achy, breaky heart kid in the fucking world, and I was obsessed with the sorts of teen dramas and just trying to live like people in teen dramas. And I was also obsessed with 2 specific girls.
Okay.
And so I would just do things that I saw in these shows to these people as like gestures, right? One of which, I was obsessed with a show called The OC when I was younger. Have you heard of it?
I have heard of it.
And there's a character in it called Seth Cohen who does gestures like, he stands on a coffee cart and says, "Acknowledge me now or lose me forever," in front of the whole school. And he's not embarrassed. And then Summer Roberts stands on the coffee cart with him and they kiss and then music plays and it's great. In reality, when you do that, you're just standing on a brick wall alone.
Yeah.
Playing a song out of your phone, and then everyone's just looking at you going, what's going on? What's he doing? And then you get bullied for a bit. So, I don't recommend that. I did lots of stuff like that. I once sent a single rose on Valentine's Day to a girl I hadn't met but had decided was the love of my life. So I got her address. You got to give me some credit for that. I mean, how's he done it? They asked me to go on Celebrity Hunted as one of the hunters. But lots of stuff like that. I once literally borrowed a line. I finally, basically, this girl I really, fucking hell, this girl I really like. So I then interviewed her on a Radio 4 series I did a while ago to be like, do you remember all these poems I wrote you? And when I would read her poems that I had done, and she was just like, my God, this is awful. And then I told a story about how I bought her tickets for us to go and see Kate Nash, right, one year when I was, I think, about 16, 17. And it was obviously a romantic gesture. But in the time between buying the ticket and going to the show, she got a boyfriend. And he drove us to the show. That's how little of a threat I seemed. He was like, yeah, have a good night, guys. Here's some money. Get yourself some oysters. I don't mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was all that sort of stuff. She finally rejected me. It was the day before we went on the end-of-year holiday to Kavos.
Yeah.
And, like, we were it was, like, my sort of group of male friends with like best friends with her sort of group of female friends in the school, and we were all staying in a hotel, and it was just us in this hotel. And basically, like, I had sort of delivered an ultimatum about, like, go out with me or you're dead kind of thing. Not quite that. But what I had done is she had started to fancy a boy that I was friends with from another school, and I saw her slipping away. Not that she was ever in my grasp whatsoever. And I wrote her by hand and did some sort of fancy sort of, bubble writing design at the top of it, and then delivered directly through her letterbox without a stamp or anything, a poem called Without You. Wow. Which was just all the things that would happen if I was without you, which was things will stay largely the same because I am currently without you. And then the next day she was like, okay, let's meet up and have a chat. And obviously this is to say, fuck off. But it was like, she was saying, look, I spoke it over with my mum and I've decided that my choice between you and this boy is neither of you. Like, this isn't right or whatever.
Ruined it for him as well.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Well, that was great. I was happy. I was very happy with that. That was the only saving grace. But then I said a line, literally directly stolen from Seth Cohen on the OC. I went, fine, well, I guess you can just go to Kavos tomorrow and I'll find someone else to walk all over me. And then I just walked home. And then as I was walking home, I was thinking, I don't feel that at all. That does not at all reflect what's happened. I would fucking kill for her to walk anywhere near me, let alone all over me.
Yeah. She's
done the opposite, largely, and left me well alone. So I had to call her and be like, I did that, was bollocks, sorry, that's from the OC. And she was like, yeah, I know. So yeah, we used to watch that show together. I know the OC, yeah. It was very embarrassing.
I got the reference.
Yeah. I got the reference, for fuck's sake. Yeah, move on. And then I just had to be like, well, I'm the youngest comedian in the world who's doing well, so unlucky. One of these days.
I did this. I was 10, I think, and I wrote a poem to Sally Waits, who lived in the Fine Fair supermarket. Dad ran the supermarket. And I wrote...
They don't know this can be real, what you're saying.
And I wrote I think about a 6-page of A4 poem. I remember the beginning of it. I did do a routine about this. It started, I love you more than I can say I love you this and every day. And then it was just every line started, I love you, and then, 6 pages handwritten. But she liked it, but then said we were going out with each other. But then I didn't know what to do there. Having secured that.
Oh, right, so it worked.
It worked. She was really impressed. I think we'd sort of been smiling at each other in history and stuff, so I don't think it was, I'd picked up the signs. I went crazy. But then we sort of walked around the school holding hands one lunchtime, but then I didn't really know what else I was meant to do because I was like 10. And so then the next lunchtime, Pam Ferris, not the woman from Darling Buds of May. That'd be amazing.
Pam Ferris from Darling Buds of May came along. Said, I got bad news, I'm afraid, Rich.
Because I just smiled her, I didn't say anything. But, that was the problem. I didn't know what the next move was.
Yeah, I had a similar thing around a similar age where it was like I was sort of too scared to hold hands, and then it was just like, this isn't working. Because before this, it was great and we got on, and now I'm too scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was exactly that.
Yeah.
But where do you, if you've written someone 6 pages of poetry, where do you go on like an anniversary? What are you doing gift-wise?
Yeah.
You have to write a novel.
It's true. It's true. Good question from AI, isn't it, that one? It's done well. Shame all the rest of them are fucking shit, isn't it? If a monkey had a magic wand and the ability to cast spells, could they use it to create a portal to a parallel dimension? And would they be able to control the inhabitants of that dimension? Or would they be subject to the whims of the magical creatures of said dimension? Not as good a question, I would argue.
Well, on the OC, what did you type into the AI to get the questions?
I said, write a Richard Herring, RHLSTP style emergency question.
Oh,
and
right.
I think
okay.
I might have said, do it. They were coming out a bit unconvoluted, so I said, make them a bit more convoluted.
Okay. Right.
The unconvoluted ones are, what would be the worst thing to put on a pizza?
Right, okay. That's very basic internet
it's very
fodder,
basic.
isn't it?
A dead baby.
Yeah,
the honest answer. That's the answer to that question, so you don't need to ask that. 2 dead babies. It's what it is. Exactly. There's always something worse.
Yeah.
This is sort of interesting. If a genie granted you 3 wishes, but one of the conditions was that you had to make one of your enemies happy, who would you choose and why? I suppose.
Which enemy?
Yeah, if you had to, you got 3 wishes, but I guess one of your wishes is something to make them happy. I would say, what would you ask them rather than why would you ask them? But which enemy would you?
It's a very difficult question if you're looking for something broadcastable, because obviously all my enemies are comedians, and I don't want a public beef.
Okay.
I'd like to keep the grudges internal
until
they become a tumour and I die.
Sure.
So I just oh fuck, and then that's even worse. That one's a commissioner. Okay, there's a specific commissioner.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to make him happy, actually.
No.
I just wouldn't have the wishes. I'd rather not have the wishes than make any of these people happy. Who would you make? What enemy of yours would you make happy?
Stuart. It's only Stuart.
Yeah.
I don't want.
And no genie's going to make him happy.
No, nothing's going to... In fact, making him happy would actually
destroy him. Yeah. It's the perfect crime. This is it.
Yeah. I would like him to be. I'd love him if he could be happy. I would love that. The world would be a nicer place. We'll do one more of these and then we'll go back to talking about you and then we'll do some proper... I don't need AI to write my emergency questions. I mean, look, what would happen if the world's last packet of crisps fell into an active volcano? That's not a good emergency question, but what would happen?
It is good, I think.
What would happen?
Because you've got to assume if we're on the world's last packet of crisps, everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
So it means if they fall into an active volcano, what are they falling from?
Yes.
It can't really be someone's hand. Can it? Well, it's
Well,
active. It's
someone
not
might
literally.
have gone, it's the last one. I'm going to run up this active volcano. Then
Yeah.
no one will follow me. Then when I'm there, I'll eat the. I'll eat
damn it.
them.
Yeah.
And then, oh no!
Yeah. Or they fall out of a
Plane.
aircraft. Yeah,
Just
yeah,
taking
yeah.
them
Something like
somewhere.
that.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean,
mean,
how is that happening? How does things fall out of aircraft?
And
You can't open the windows.
that's true. Where have all the other crisps gone? They're just
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
potatoes. If there's no potatoes,
This is the last of your worries.
I
It's the
think-
last packet
I
of
think
crisps.
If there's no potatoes, then the world's basically over. I don't think having the last packet of crisps is going to be a big deal.
And if there is no potatoes, and we've used the remaining ones to make one packet of crisps. But I do think it would be the international news story if there was one packet of crisps left. It would be if we do, and it would be like Richard Osman would make a reality show out of it for a start. He'd make some sort of show about how can we preserve this packet of crisps, who gets to have the packet of crisps. Maybe that's the final.
Yeah.
It's destroy. It's like Lord of the Rings, you know.
Would it
Get
be a
rid of
big
them for the
loss?
good of us all.
I mean, crisps are nice. I'd be sad if there were no more crisps. But would it
Right,
be
sorry,
would it be that much of a loss to the world if there was? I mean, it's not like
That sounded like it was a line from your poem that you wrote when you were 10. Crisps are nice. I'd be sad if there are no more crisps, and I love you.
I love you as much as crisps.
Yeah, I
not
love
more. No more, no less. Yeah. Okay. I'll ask you one real proper one.
A human one.
A human one that only a human could come. No, AI could never come up with this. If you had to go in a human centipede, but the person doing the human centipede, you're going in the middle, but the person doing it allows you to choose the person in front of you and the person behind you.
Okay.
Who would you like? And that might give us an idea of which commissioner you were talking about.
Okay. How many packets of crisps are in the world at the moment?
There's a limitless supply of crisps,
limitless.
but you'll only be getting them in fecal form.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Sometimes you still get a few shards, don't you?
It might be-
I guess you're going to want someone who, because you want to maximise the amount of actual nutrients that you can get, I suppose, don't
Yeah.
you? So, you know, someone who eats a lot of sweet corn, for example, you're at least getting some real food in amongst. Are we assuming that the person at the front gets to choose their meals? Or is it chosen by some sort of ombudsman?
I'm not sure. I would imagine the man. I don't know if the man who's made the human centipede just goes out. You
Up
go
to
into
you.
the world.
Yeah,
you go into the world.
We've got you a table at Nando's. Yeah, okay.
You can do what you like now.
I mean, I would love to see a human centipede going in and them still saying, have you been to Nando's before? I would love that. Yes, all three of us have been to Nando's
I mean,
before.
I think, you know, you could. I guess you could still communicate the vibrations. You know, would be.
Yeah.
And that if that was your,
how does it work?
if your arse was that would reverberate, wouldn't it, as well? If you were actually with the arse cheeks there,
Sure.
it'd be a sort of like a megaphone. So I think you could.
Maybe you get, and if as long as they open their mouth at the front, then you can get a real volume out of that. It's like using a traffic cone when you're pissed.
So you'll be able to talk to them through their own mouth. So you could say,
so really it's the human megaphone. This is not a human centipede at all. This is a human traffic cone.
yeah, okay.
I don't understand. Okay, if they're not choosing their own meals,
Yeah.
then I don't understand what the debate even is. Is it just whose arse
Well, yeah, who's
I'm
asked?
most into being sown against?
Yeah, well, you can interpret it however you want.
Okay.
No one else has really gone into the choosing the meals aspect before.
Okay, front
Yeah.
is the man with 4 kidneys from Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
Back is
Seems a shame to have the man with 4 kidneys and you're attached to his anus, though, because there's.
I feel like I'm going to get some of it.
There's none of the benefit.
Well, it breaks down urea. Is that something?
It comes out you.
That just piss?
It just comes out you winky.
How in a human
Or you know.
in a human
urethra.
centipede?
Yeah.
Yeah, so your dick's still just there.
Yeah. Oh, that would be inhuman to. The genitals are still
That
free.
would be unethical.
I wonder if is it possible for the person at the back of the human centipede to have sex with the person at the front of the human centipede?
Well, yeah,
If
it
they-
solves the sucking your own dick
Yeah,
question.
it does.
Sucking your own dicks.
Yeah. I wonder if you
What
could...
happens? Yeah, what happens in a human centipede if you get an erection?
Oh, you know.
Maybe a fucking AI should be asking that, actually.
It's a good. These are all good questions.
Or do you think it's just so non-sexy that isn't possible?
I think it would be quite sexy.
Yeah. Ass to mouth. I mean, I'm not against it.
It's sexy with the person at the front.
Yeah.
So then you've got if you've got a man in front of you, man with 4 kidneys.
Yeah.
His
yeah.
dick's flapping around.
Yeah, exactly.
On your. Sort of under your chin, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly. So I might get access to the sweet urea that his kidneys are producing.
It could go in your ear. You could wee in your ear and then if you held your head that way, some of the wee could go through into your brain.
Actually, wait, thinking about it, maybe you want someone with maximum 1 ball at the front.
Yeah.
So that, you've only got one hitting you in the eyes
that's true.
and whatnot. So I'll have you.
Okay, I'll go in front.
You're happy with that?
I'm very happy at the front. Eventually, if you're at the front, you're just carrying around the carcasses of 2 dead people who've eaten your shit. But, otherwise you live a full life.
Do you think it's a full life? Would you say it's a full life? Are you playing badminton?
I think...
Do you have hobbies that you can do, really?
The guy said, I'll let you go, but the condition of letting you go is you can't go and have an operation to have them removed.
Right.
And I'll be coming back and checking.
Yeah.
Then, I think you could live a nice life.
What would you get up to? How do you sit down?
How
would you do this for a start?
On the dead bodies, your former centipede. I mean, they would eventually rot away and fall apart.
Do you think it would be if you were the front of a human centipede where the other 2/3?
Yeah.
This is like that building in Swindon all of a sudden, where those 2/3 have rotted away.
Yes.
Do you think? And you were doing this podcast.
Yes.
Do you think you would find it harder or easier to book guests? Am I still getting a look in? Or is Greg Davies available?
Yeah, it's a very good question.
People would be intrigued by it, I think.
Would be very good question. Look, you've done some podcasts. This radio show I was very interested in. I don't know if you do any more of these. I listened to 2 episodes because you have to listen to 2.
Okay. To check it wasn't a
Rhys
fluke.
James isn't.
Oh yeah, that is only 2 episodes.
Is it only 2 episodes?
Yeah.
Did you only do 2?
Yeah. So the premise of that was that I did 2 episodes of. It was like half an hour of stand-up each, and it was me being left wing in one episode and right wing on the other on the same topics. Basically, as an exercise, a bit like the Love Island thing of proving I can be funny about anything from any angle. But also just a bit bored of the whole, I just don't care about anything. I have opinions, really.
Yeah.
And certainly not in my act that much. And the things I do care about don't matter. So with political stuff, and like sitting on Mock the Week and just being like, people would complain that it was like, too left-wing or whatever, which is quite inevitable.
Yeah.
And also just because the people in power are right-wing and you just mock those sorts of people. But I would get a bit bored of like even sat there sort of hearing the same angle and again, that I would always just try and just say contrarian shit just on there to just have a new... Also, because when you're thinking of what to say on Mock the Week, you have to have something that won't be said by 6 other people first.
Sure.
So you have to come up with a unique thing. So that show is sort of born out of that, of just being like, fuck it, I'll just see if I can write about anything.
Yeah.
But once we'd done that, we'd done all the topics. So
right.
I just did 2 episodes and was like, it was meant to be like a special.
Yeah.
And then, I tried to get it commissioned as a TV show and failed.
Oh.
I
thought it was a really interesting idea, but I also, because I feel, as I think we sort of talked about this recently with someone else, but like as a comedian, I think you should be looking for what's funny, right, on both. So like I'm not saying no one's allowed to be a political comedian and have a point of view about it. Yeah, but most comedians should be there going, look, oh, that's funny that this person's doing over there, and that's funny this person's doing over here, and you should be really, not be too biased, I guess, either way. So you should be able to make jokes in both directions. So I think it was sort of an interesting project because it allows you to do some off-colour jokes.
Yeah, that was the fun part.
Yeah.
The right-wing episode was 10,000 times more fun to write than the left-wing episode.
Yeah.
It was obviously because they're all the things you've always wanted to say, but only because I only care about the angle. It's like none of the things I said in either episode are anything I think, really. No. It was just, what would I think if I was coming at it from this perspective? Yeah. And then, there's some, you can be a lot cheekier in the right-wing one and say some dodgy stuff. There's a few lines in it that are fucking mental.
Yeah.
That when they're taken out of context, it's over.
Yes, of course.
Even though the context was me basically saying, I am allowed to do this, please.
Yes.
That's basically what the premise of the show is. But it wasn't anything like that dodgy.
No.
But there's some, like, you know, on the cheeky side of, I probably wouldn't do it in my show.
No.
But it is just it was because I care about the angle of the joke rather than the opinion of the joke, because I don't really actually mean any of the opinions of anything.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. And I think in the past, I mean, I'm not one of these people who thinks, oh, you can't say anything and everything's changed so much and it's terrible. I think the changes are generally quite good. But in the past, you would just look for what was funny.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't, and people would say, we've entered a social contract where we're going to see a comedy show, and the comedian might say something so outrageous that, you know, we don't agree with it, but we understand.
Yeah, exactly.
We understand the premise of what comedy is. And it's become more difficult. And exactly that, because someone could just... And what happens a lot with comedy now is someone will go, you did this tweet, or here's a page from your book without the page that follows, or here's one joke you did in a 90-minute show, and, you know, how dare you say that?
Yeah. And there's a app you can get that just deletes all your tweets from before a certain year. Right. You could just choose the year. And lots of comics have done this. Right. They've just gone, probably 2019 and before, gone, everything gone.
Yeah.
I use my tweets as a database of every joke I've ever thought of, basically. Yeah. So if ever I need a joke on a topic, I search my name and a keyword. So I can't delete them. So I'm fucked. Because every now and then something comes up where I need a joke on a keyword. I'm like, well, and then I do delete it. I see it and go, undeniably, this is so offensive. And I was 18 and thick.
Well,
and everyone loved it. Also, when I started out, the Frankie Boyle and Jimmy Carr were the most popular comics, and everyone wanted that kind of comedy. And obviously, it ebbs and flows, doesn't it? What's popular?
Yes.
But obviously, when I started out, I was like, cool. Well, I'm 18 and I love that comedy, so I'll write loads of insanely offensive jokes that don't have any of the wit and cleverness and, you know, sort of double meaning of Frankie Boyle and Jimmy Carr's jokes. And then it's just a bunch of offensive statements in hindsight.
Well, I think that is because I think if you did the same certainly for me, if you went back to stuff I was doing at 18 and younger, where you really don't, you don't understand the parameters. You're not a bad person, but you understand, you see people making those jokes. I loved Derek and Clive when I was 13. So, that's a very, very hard kind of comedy to pull off. I would have been attempting to do Derek and Clive, which, But
at the same time, you're the only person who's presented Top of the Pops who's still allowed to work. So, you've always got that.
So far. I think what I've done is I've created so much material
it
would take such a long time to go through it. I think there's definitely things in there. There's definitely some stuff. You guys know, you've all seen all of it. But I've forgotten most of it. Like people will quote something from, As It Occurs to Me, which is this internet stand-up and sketch I did that I wrote on the day before and then did it this sort of mad sort of fever dream. And initially that show was, I'm so fucked off with that you can't say anything you want on the radio or TV anymore, so I'm going to go, be as offensive as I can. And then within a couple of episodes you go, okay.
Yeah, I've got it out of my system.
Now I'm allowed to do it. It's not fun. But I'm sure there's stuff in there.
You're not rebelling against anything if you do that,
So there's that, you do need something to be pressing against, but also equally there must be
Has Me One ever said anything that's upset Me Too?
I mean, yeah, but they both say. I mean, again, that's a format where you can, again, I enter a slight dream state with it, and they do say. To begin with, Me Too was the sort of contrarian, sort of libertarian one who would say offensive things, but it's sort of switched. So Me One's this family man, but he's just a bit horrible and conservative. Right. And so sometimes they have a snooker match to determine like Brexit or something like that, which is the right size of Brexit. But yeah, they both say terrible things. Well, that's fine. It's not, because it's not me.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is a part of me. But it's sort of interesting because I find that the people who are hunting down the offensive jokes of wherever someone will offend a section. It's happened this week. Someone's offended a section of people by saying something, and then those people have gone and looked over that comedian's history, and they found some admittedly quite dodgy stuff, but from 5 or 6 years ago, exactly what you're talking about.
It's not long enough.
It's not long enough.
It's annoying.
It's not long enough ago, but it is also.
You've got to be double digits, I reckon.
Yeah, it's the same thing where it is to go, but but people are going to look for that specific thing.
Yeah.
And they did find it in this case, but equally you can find like a bit of a joke. So if someone could go and find it. Oh, look, here's this guy.
Oh, definitely. When we were making it,
Greta
we were
Thunberg or whatever, and
Yeah.
even though you've done an episode where you say how great she is, you do an episode where you say the opposite.
100%, yeah. It's just it's like it feels like the only when we were doing it, it was like, well, you know, some people are just gonna get in the car on this day and listen to it on this day. You go, fucking hell, what's this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, kind of, sort of, whatever. It's unfortunate if that happens. It's meant to be listened. They were supposed to be on back to back.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I sort of thought that was what was quite brave about it. I thought, like, do 15 minutes on each.
Yeah, right.
In the same show.
So this was a debate we had as well. It's like, if you're going to do 2.5 hours, should you just do it literally immediately so that you're doing it straight away?
Yeah.
Especially because there was a couple of the jokes that were literally word for word the same, but with a different tone of voice.
Yes.
Because you could make it sound... The point was you could make anything sound like something. And then producer and people like that were a bit like, aren't you worried about this when it comes out, people just hearing one of them? I sort of thought, well, no one listens to Radio 4 anyway. I'm worried about people hearing any of it, to be honest. My main concern. And the fee. But also, no, it was more like, it's got the defence. I mean, it's set up. It's like, so if someone does clip up a bit and go, you said this, I'd be like, yeah, it was an experiment. I wasn't doing anything like the stuff that's happened this week where I was using like a slur, for example.
Exactly, yeah.
So there's like, I think there's a defence in there.
Yeah.
And also, quite a lot of what I said in both of them was quite accurate.
It's funny.
There's a lot of factual stuff in
it
both
isn't
of them.
like you. It isn't you trying to be like super offensive. It's just looking at a thing from two
Yeah.
different point of views, which is interesting, you know. And people say, why are there no right wing comedians? And part of the reason is what you're saying, that it's if one party's in government, they're
Yeah, well, you're rallying
against
against that.
But it's
also,
hard to be funny from a.
I don't know. I will say when it made me think about why I started thinking, why are there no right-wing comedians? This is so much more fun to be a prick about everything and just go in from this angle. It was way more fun to write, but it was harder to get laughs.
Yeah.
Even though the
With that
jokes are
audience.
better, people are still just, the same audience who've just watched me. So
Yeah.
when we did it live, it was the same audience.
Yeah. I think there are quite a lot of right-wing comedians, though.
Yes,
And there's a lot of, you know, Jimmy Carr's stuff is pretty horrible, a lot of it, and I like it because I know because I trust who he is. But all the clips that come up on Instagram, he'll come up and he'll say something that is, you know, again, if you just took it at face value, which every now and again happens to him.
Of course, but he doesn't pass opinion on anything.
No.
So it is just I mean, it's like his whole thing is the whole point is it's not real.
Yeah.
When it's one-liners like that, I think where it gets complicated is when it seems like you're making a point, and that's like, you know, comedy often, like some of the great bits come from a contrarian standpoint and then trying to convince everyone who disagrees with you to agree with you because you've used a funny twisted logic or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's where it's fucked now because someone will just take literally the premise.
Yes.
Which you'll then, you go in with the hard premise. Like Bill Burr does it all the time. You go in with an incredibly difficult to agree with premise, and then you work your way to them agreeing. And they went, by the end of it. And if someone on Twitter clips up your premise, then you look like a fucking maniac.
Yep. Good. Are you ever confused with Rhys James, the footballer? I know you like footballing.
Yeah. Do I? Sorry. Do I like?
I know
footballing?
you like footballing. Is
Do I
what
like
said.
footballing?
I got quite into. I was meant to be researching you, but I got quite interested in.
He's
Rhys
doing
James.
well, isn't he?
He's doing all right. Did you know that him and his sister are the first brother and sister to play for England? Lauren James, and.
That's
Rhys
my
James.
real name.
I know. I
Not
got
his one.
confused.
Yeah, it's very frustrating because for someone to come along in a much more popular thing, immediately win the Champions League and play for England with your name, who is 10 years younger than you, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
It's an absolute disaster. He's 22. He's 22 years old, and he's a footballer, so his ceiling for success is so much higher than a comedian who is 32's ceiling for success. He's literally, he's so good as well. I think, will win the World Cup before he's 30.
Okay.
I am just trying to get on Taskmaster before I go bald. That's all it is. That's the race I'm in.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you put a word in?
I can put a word in for you for Taskmaster. I'm sure you'll be on Taskmaster. You're in the difficult seat in Taskmaster, in the young-ish, white, heterosexual. I mean, you talk about this, but there's a lot of people going for that seat.
Yeah. What seat were you in?
I was in they made a special seat for me. could take my weight. I was the old. Although there was Johnny was on mine as well. Johnny Vegas was on my one as well. So there was sort of two sort of middle-aged men on our one.
They give him two.
Yeah. But
They
there
always
aren't-
give the middle-aged men too.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just have to wait until then.
Yeah, wait till you're a middle-aged man. Maybe there's still a chance to be in the champions against me. There's still 10.
Right, okay,
there's
I have
10
to
more,
win it. I have
there's
to get
10
on
more
it, win
series.
it.
We've got to get it, win champion of champions. 10 series time. We might be up against each other.
When they announced the other day that they have commissioned a bunch more series and also a junior Taskmaster,
Yes.
I got so many tweets saying, you might finally get on it, Rhys. Very frustrating for that not to be my joke.
Right, we haven't got too much longer. I'm going to look quickly at what I wanted to talk to you about. When you went on Pointless Celebrities.
Yeah.
Was it with Lloyd?
With Lloyd Griffith,
And you wore tuxedos.
we wore tuxedos.
That was it was a bold move.
Yeah, well, there's a reason for it.
Okay.
It was really annoying. Okay, so basically, I was trying to stitch up Lloyd.
Yeah.
And so I said, let's wear tuxedos on Pointless. And knowing he'll only bring a tuxedo and like what he's wearing, and he won't want to wear what he's wearing, so he'll have to wear a tuxedo, and I won't bring a tuxedo, and then he will be wearing a tuxedo on Pointless and feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
And then I thought, it's always a bit awkward, isn't it, that when Alexander Armstrong asks a question of someone on Pointless, and they have, on the non-celeb one, they have quite an awkward bit of conversation.
Yeah.
And, you're from Hull. Lovely. What's the tallest building in Swindon? That sort of stuff, Just like bad chat,
Yeah.
So... he should outsource his questions to an AI. That I would like to see on Pointless. If he said, who do you want at the front of your human centipede? But he... so I thought it'd be good, because then I could just go tell that story. He'd be like, why are you wearing a tuxedo, Lloyd? And then I could tell that story. Now, the day before we went to record Pointless, Lloyd sent me a picture of him in the mirror wearing his tuxedo. And I looked at it and thought, God, he looks fantastic. So I was like, I am definitely not the winner of this joke if he turns up looking amazing and I don't. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. I want to wear a tuxedo as well. Then I thought, great, we can tell this anecdote on Pointless, and that can be our intro. And then it doesn't get mentioned. So we just stand there in tuxedos, and Alexander Armstrong doesn't bring it up, and Osman doesn't mention it. And I was like, are you fucking kidding? And it's a question to me as well. He said, Russell Kane, who was spoken to in the intros before me, and he said, Russell, you're looking in amazing shape. You look really muscly at the moment. And then Russell talks about his, gym routine. And then he goes, Rhys, you've got this podcast. And I was like, hold on a second. You can't go from Russell, you're sexy, to Rhys, you've got a fucking face for the radio. I'm wearing a tuxedo. And then I just had a breakdown and screamed at him. And he said, yeah, and you're looking so muscly, Rhys. And that became a running joke. But it sort of didn't really pay off because we went out in the second round.
Yeah.
And if you wear a tuxedo, you have to win. You have to win.
Yeah.
We went out in the second round because the question was actors who've been in Alien or The Lighthouse.
Oh, okay.
And Lloyd said Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, very upsetting.
Oh.
I know. And I did Mastermind as well.
Yeah.
And when I did Mastermind, here's a peek behind the curtain. They do a bit of chat on Mastermind. It was still John Humphreys when I did it.
Yeah.
And it was a bit the chat we were just having about, what can you say and what can you not in the end. But I was told he's going to ask you about, in the little way, after you've done your specialist subject and then before you do the general knowledge, he's going to say, so you're a comedian, and I had like a story about being asked to go and speak at my school that was like part of my show at the time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, he's just going to ask you about going to speak at your school. And I was like, great, I'll do 2 quick jokes and we're in. That's what you want. And then on the morning of it, I was on with an ex-MP, and he said, instead, he's going to ask you about, what's the difference between being a comedian and being a politician? And I was like, well, that's also going to be easy to riff something. But the night before, it was during COVID, right? And they film it in Belfast, right. Mastermind. And it was during COVID, and then it kind of like opened up a bit for us to film, but there was no audience there. And the night before, it's like 2 episodes worth of people go up at once. And I saw Stephen K. Amos at the airport, and he was going to do it as well. And then they opened the bar in the hotel for us, and just us. So half of us were all getting battered in the hotel because we've not seen anyone for 3 months. So everyone's just getting hammered. And half of the dweebs were off revising. Like Steve Backshall, get a grip, mate. He's hench, though. Steve Backshall, by the way, lovely man. But first of all, his suitcase was the Richard Osman House of Games suitcase. Wow. Pathetic. Yeah. Secondly, his subject was sharks. His specialist subject was sharks. He had just finished editing his 10-part series about sharks. Yeah. Fuck off. You couldn't do this podcast as your specialist subject.
I'm very annoyed about this because I did very well on Mastermind, but still didn't win. And I was up against, and I said, can I do the human penis? Because I'd written a book about it. And they said, no, because you've written a book about it, you're not allowed to do it. So there was a couple of things I put that I wasn't allowed to do. So I did Rasputin, which I knew a bit about, but I had to revise, and I don't speak Russian, so I had to work very hard. And then Hilary Kay, who did win, who's an antiques expert, did Chippendale or something like that,
Right.
or Wedgwood or something. But she basically just did a
her
part
field
of
of
her job.
expertise. It's bollocks.
And so you're not allowed to do that.
It's mental. And then we were filming at 9 a.m, crucially.
Yeah.
And they said, we're actually going to ask you, what's the difference between a politician and a comedian? I quickly thought some one-liner about, I don't know, Boris's hair is silly.
Yeah, good.
Because I'm cutting edge. I'm one of the greats. I'm one of the youngest greats. And then I sat down and John Humphreys went, can you say anything anymore as a comedian, or has wokeness ruined it all? And I was so hungover that I didn't even think about the fact we're filming and this is broadcasting. I just went, John, it's 9 a.m. like that. And then he just went, obviously we're going to have to do that. You can't say it's 9 a.m, Rhys. That can't be your answer. So then I just bluffed some bullshit answer that was the most fence-sitting fucking nothing in the world.
Yeah.
And then one of the questions, I fucked up the general knowledge a lot, and one of the questions was, what type of birth is it called when the baby comes out buttocks first?
Okay.
Which the answer is a breech birth, which I didn't know. So I said, hilarious. Because I'd heard the word buttocks and buttocks first, right? I said, it's called a hilarious birth, John. Next question. And then afterwards, I Googled it, and I saw that quite a lot of babies, quite injured or die from breech births. And I've just told you, no, I don't think comedy's too woke. You can say whatever you like. But, some people are looking for offence, is what I just said. And then I'd gone, baby death's hilarious. Good night. It's 9 a.m. So I panicked for months. It was like the only work I did in COVID, and I thought, I've just gone to Belfast, ruined my career.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that old anti-woke John Humphreys wouldn't let you say it was 9 a.m. You're not allowed to say anything anymore, are you?
There's BBC censorship.
Not allowed to tell the truth anymore. Cool. So, wait, you've been on tour. I think by the time this pod goes out, you'll have finished on tour. What else is coming up in your...
It's over.
Is it over?
Comedy's over. Mock the Week's over. I did my best.
You're very good on Mock the Week. I mean, I think you're one of the... I think Mock the Week kind of turned around. I'm really disappointed it's got taken off, because I think it was one of the shows that it maybe had got into a bit of a rut.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
then they actually did something about it, and they brought in new people.
Yeah.
And it was a good mixture of new and old people, and I watched a few of those, especially the compilation ones. You go, this is really fucking good. And there's loads of clips of yours. So that's a shame that that's...
Yeah, also
gone.
there's so few places for people to break through now. And this is why, if you're on social media and there's 5,000 clips of comedians doing 10 seconds of crowd work every day, it's because you can't get on anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can break you through and sell any tickets anymore. So everyone is just like, fuck, I need to say, where are you from? And then say it's shit and put it on the internet and hope 10,000 people watch it and buy a ticket. Because it's now what else? You've got to do podcasts.
You've got to do a podcast. Luckily, you're on this podcast, which is... some doors are going to open.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, it's packed. This is one of the biggest podcasts in the game. Yes. It's a shame. It's a real shame. Who knows how long this will last, but the same people who made Mock the Week made a show called The Great American Joke Off.
Oh, yes, I did.
Do you have many American listeners?
Yeah, I do have. It's my third biggest market.
Great. Well, everyone who listens in America
It's about
and
10,
people in
10
this room,
people.
if you want to go to America, get yourself cable TV, find the network called the CW network. Then from the 31st of March, which is in the past, the show The Great American Joke Off will be on, which is kind of like it's like things like the first and last round of Mock the Week. It's not topical.
Yeah.
Like that, kind of like scenes we'd like to see, type things like parlor gamey, things like that, but all gags. And I think The Great American Joke Off, the title, is supposed to be a play on the Great British Bake Off.
Oh, okay.
Which, of course, in America is called the Great British Baking Show.
Is it?
So it doesn't work. And so everyone thought that all the Americans who did the show were like, is this just a pun on the Great American Jerk Off?
Yeah, that's what I thought when suddenly it occurred to me as you said it.
Yeah,
Sounds exactly like jerk.
Doesn't work at all. But it was a fun show to do. It'll probably get cancelled after 2 episodes because that's how American telly works.
Yeah.
The CW bought Taskmaster and showed 1 episode and then just didn't show anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't hold
Is that not going to be shown in the UK then? That's just going to be in America?
I don't know. At the moment, it's just on there.
Yeah, nice.
But that's just for your American listeners. That's what's next. But I've
Yeah.
already done it. It was
But
happened ages
that
ago.
could, but on the other side of the coin, if it becomes a big success, which it could easily be, then
Then I'm out of here.
Yeah, off to America.
I'm on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Forget this bullshit.
Yeah.
Get me on Rogan. Human centipede question. Let's go, Rogan. Come on.
Cool. Well, that's fun. You know, I'm glad that there is an outlet at least for that stuff, because it does feel like everything's being shut down
Yeah.
by the BBC at least, and
Yeah.
then something. Have I got news for you? Goes on forever, but
Yeah.
everything else seems to be kind of being nipped sometimes in the bud. Sometimes it's been. I mean, not the week went on for a long time, but I do think it's a shame that. And I wouldn't have said 10 years ago. I would have gone. I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, of course.
Because but also it sort of had a nasty edge to it, and then I think by bringing in a more diverse group of people, but also new people, it did really turn around. So it's a shame that.
It got quite chilled, to be honest.
Yeah.
Certainly when Ed Gamble was on it, in the latter years of Ed Gamble being on it,
Yeah.
it couldn't be fucked to prepare anything. So it'd be like the easiest riffing gig in the world. Everything you said, he would go ask you a follow-up question about it, and then it would just become a fun podcast type situation because he couldn't be fucked to think of any jokes.
Yeah.
So it was great. And then he got too big for his boots. And now he's a chef or something. Yeah. What was he?
His mate's gone off to be a movie star now, so that'll be the end.
Exactly.
He'll be in the bin. See, I've seen it all in my many years. I know what's going to happen to the lot of you. I told you you'd do well. I can
You
see.
did. You said.
I can see how it's going.
You said big things await when I was 17. I didn't know you meant this.
But I did. And that's all I've been. Well, there's a lot more to talk to you about, but I haven't got any more time to talk to you about it. So you have to come back another time when you're big in America, when you're a big movie star in America, and in a film with The Rock, and Amy Pond, and it'll be fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, give a massive round of applause to the amazing Rhys James.
Thank you.
Come back next week for the last show in the series. You have been listening to RHLSTP with me, Richard Herring, and my guest, Rhys James. Thank you to Scant Regard for providing this music. I'm indebted to my producer, Ben Walker, even though he hasn't shown up yet. And also thank you to Chris Evans, not that one, and all of the team from GoFasterStripe.com and everyone at the Leicester Square Theatre. There he is, he's turned up now. This is a Sky Potato Fuzz and GoFasterStripe.com production.